Okay, I don't know if you can see my face. Let's make our espresso. All right, we've got our breakfast done. I'm trying to get a lot of protein in. Preferably if I could get like 100 grams of protein per day, that would be perfect, but I don't know, it's kind of hard. Like when you really think about it, it's hard to get that amount of protein in your diet. 3 eggs, 3 of like these little mini sausage, 3 mini breakfast sausages, broccoli, 2 little cherry tomatoes, salt, pepper, a little bit of cheese on top, like, and I mean like a little sprinkle of cheese just to, you know, the girl likes cheese, and some dill on top. And then for iced coffee, I don't know if you can tell, but I thought it was allergies. I really did, but I've been coughing up a ton of phlegm. But when I stopped filming last Friday, when I went out with my friends, Saturday morning, I was so dead. Like my body could not, I couldn't be bothered to get off my couch. I stayed in bed all day. I did have a Pilates class that I forgot that I was waitlisted for. I got off the wait list before the 12-hour, I guess, grace period to cancel. So I had to go to the class because I don't want to pay for, you know, canceling. So I figured I'll just take it easy. I half-assed that workout so bad, put no effort into it. And I can tell that my instructor was kind of like noticing that I just really wasn't in it. And I guess I should have maybe canceled to give my spot to someone else who really did want to work out. But that membership is very expensive. So at least I showed up. At least I still moved my body, and I was very gentle with myself. So yeah, that's been my last couple days. I've been drowning myself in allergy medication and Tylenol for like flu and cold symptoms. Hey, I'm back. Work was good. I'm going to make my protein smoothie and then get dinner started and then get ready for Pilates. We'll have our protein smoothie here. Half a banana, half an apple, a handful of walnuts, protein powder, a spoonful of Greek yogurt, and cashew milk. It's actually really good. Oh, and 1.5 tablespoons of flax seeds, you know, because we need that fiber. I actually wanted to do a quick little sit down and talk about something that's been an ongoing process in my life. I don't even know how to begin to explain it because I kind of have to take a step back and explain where I was in 2020. If you watch one of the very first videos that I posted, where I talked about, you know, what was kind of next for me after graduating, and believe me, I had my heart set on becoming a lawyer. I was very passionate about my education and continuing past my bachelor's degree, and the pandemic really affected me. It took multiple sessions of therapy the last, like those first 2.5 or 3 years to really get to where I am right now. I think being locked indoors, the uncertainty of the world and everything going around me, and just feeling like I had no control over what was going on in my environment. I mean, we all remember how 2020 was. It was a complete shit show. So not pursuing what I thought I was going to do. I just didn't feel like I was ready. Like I wasn't in a good mental headspace to pursue my education that intensely, because you know, law school is very, very intense for those 3 years. I just didn't see myself doing that, at least in that time in my life. And maybe later on down the road, I might want to revisit that. But at least during that time, I was very lost. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was at a crossroads between, do I go back to school? What other career can I do with my political science degree? What ended up happening was I tried to go into teaching. In Texas, you can go through, you know, smaller programs, and I was trying to get my teaching certification. And while I was going through that, I was working at a school. But it wasn't for me, seeing how unsupported the education system is. I didn't see myself making an impact in the way that I wanted to make an impact. I remember coming home from that job and just crying to Marco, crying to my mom, like my close ones, saying how miserable I was there. And my mental health, like straight decline. Like I was depressed, like severely depressed for the first time. And at the same time, I was experiencing really high anxiety. I found a really great therapist at the time, and I expressed to her, you know, I wanted to do this unmedicated and I just wanted to figure my stuff out. And I'm so thankful for her, because everything that she had taught me just helped me figure out who I was and who I was going to be in this new chapter in my life. I owe it all to her. Like, I mean, of course I did the work, but she was just so validating and so helpful, and I think about her from time to time, and I hope she's doing well, because I haven't gone back since I think before I got married. So during that time, I was at the beginning stages of therapy and throughout it, I was so lost, but I wanted to figure out what my purpose was. I thought my purpose was, you know, to go to school, be a lawyer, ... And I felt like I had no purpose anymore. If I wasn't going to be that, I don't know who I am or who I was going to be. And I turned to astrology, and it was very fulfilling in the moment for those first couple of years, because I got a lot of certainty, and like things just made sense and things just like clicked for me, and I was like, oh yeah, like that resonates with me very well. And it got to the point that I was like paying tarot readers and doing like full moon rituals, and it got really bad, to the point that some days I wouldn't leave the house, because I'm like, oh, you know, just certain planets are in retrograde, maybe it's best if I just kind of keep to myself for a bit. And there was this one astrologer that I remember he had posted a video saying for like cardinal signs that the second half of the month you were going to struggle with your mental health. Now, it was the beginning of the month when I saw that video, and I was like, okay, but I'm having like I'm doing really well. Like I feel really good about where I am and my mental health. But because that video popped up, it aligned with my cardinal signs, like my big three, that just replayed in my mind for like the entire month. And I basically ruined my own mental health because I let that video get to my head, when I feel like if I had never seen that video, who knows if I really would have struggled with my mental health had I not seen it. But I think that's when I first kind of realized, I'm like, I don't know if I want to continue looking into this as much. I would get these like waves of feeling in my chest of like uncertainty and heaviness, and it was like this feeling of like I wanted to cry. Sometimes just thinking about it would just trigger it, and it was like a heavy feeling in my chest. There was like one night in particular where I was, you know, reading my horoscope, and I was reading just kind of seeing like where the planets were and stuff, and how that was going to affect me. I felt like giving up. I'm like, I don't feel fulfilled. I don't feel like how much energy I put into this is really helping me in any way, besides making me more afraid and steering me away from what I really want to do. I remember, I think like just in the back of my mind, I had this like little voice, not a voice, but just a thought. Anytime that I was going through a hard time, my mom would always tell me, just pray. Ask God for help. Just pray, just pray, just pray. And I don't know why, like that little voice or thought came to me of like my mom telling me like, just pray. I sat there in bed, and I remember just praying and asking God like to help me, that I was tired of feeling this heaviness in my heart, and I was tired of feeling like I didn't have a purpose anymore. The waves, you know, kind of continued. I was still getting like those really like these heavy feelings of just anxiety and sadness. And at the time, my husband and I, or fiance at the time, we were looking to start the process of our marriage classes for our wedding. And I went to church with him, and I'm the one that gets the bulletin at the end, and I kind of like, you know, read over what's going on. And they had a healing prayer at the very bottom. And, you know, basically if anyone's going through like an illness or a hard time in their life, to go and they do like a little healing prayer together. And I was drawn to that. I remember Marco had gone to work that day, and so I didn't tell him that I was going at the time. I just grabbed my keys, went to the church, and I sat there with this beautiful older couple, and I told them what was going on. and they just held my hand and started praying, and I just bawled. Like, I was crying so much because I felt like not relieved that I was there, but it was just a release. It was a release that I think I was suppressing and holding in for so long. We exchanged contact information, and they eventually became our sponsor couple for the church. I had spoken to the wife about it, and I was like, you know, I was going through this hard time, and I just had this, like, I had this voice in me, or this urge to pray, and then another one to go to this healing prayer. And now a part of me wants to get closer to the church, but I'm scared. And she goes, that's the Holy Spirit. Like, that's the Holy Spirit calling you back to the church. And I don't want to get too religious with this video, but that kind of just stuck with me. And then I thought back to that night that I sat in bed after, you know, praying for the first time about what I was going through. And I thought, okay, I think my prayer was answered. And it wasn't answered in the way that I thought it would be answered. Like, hey, you know, help me, I'm going through this and I don't want to feel this anymore, and then instantly not feel that anymore. It was more of like a quieter, taking the first step of returning to the church is going to help me get through that difficult time in my life. And it did. And it was a very slow transition. I didn't, you know, start going to church every Sunday and praying every day. It was a very slow thing. I think up to the end of 2023, I think I just felt this urge no longer pay attention to astrology. I didn't want to associate myself with anything of that anymore. And so I unfollowed all of these like astrologers and anything that had to do with like spirituality. Believe me, that was very difficult for me to do, but it felt right. And I have a bunch of crystals still that I don't use in the way that I would use them anymore. So, you know, I had different crystals, and each one of them would have certain healing properties, one for anxiety, one for depression. I no longer look to my crystals or really carry them around with me for protection. I got this like little tiny necklace. I don't know if I can zoom in. I got this, it kind of stood out to me when I was in Mexico looking for my wedding dress. It's the Holy Spirit, and I was like, I need that, because that is the reason I think why I'm in a better place mentally and emotionally, and just overall my well-being. I feel like I've found a sense of purpose in myself again. And again, it's been a very slow thing. I'm still learning. Returning to Catholicism on my own terms, not my mom's terms, my grandma's terms, the church, trying to navigate being like a modern pro woman and reading the Bible. I started going to like Bible study just to kind of really understand what I'm reading, because there are lots of metaphors in that book, let me tell you, and not everything is meant to be taken so literal, which I think it's why a lot of people get confused by some of the writings in there. Be very careful when you read the Bible, because not everything is meant to be taken so literal. I make it a habit that every Sunday we go to church. I'm still learning. I'm learning a lot. I don't consider myself to be like this Catholic woman who, you know, knows everything and super religious. I feel like I'm still kind of dipping my toe and seeing where I kind of fit into all this, but all I can say is that I'm very happy with where I'm at right now, and giving up astrology has been one of the best things, if not the best thing, that I could have done for myself and my mental health. And so I just kind of wanted to share that. Yeah, I didn't want to hide that part of myself, because I feel like it's a big part of who I am now. I don't go around telling my friends, you know, to pray or to go to church. I'm more of like a quiet Catholic. Like, I don't regret dabbling with astrology because of that, and learning my mistakes and my lessons. I'm able to kind of straighten myself out and follow my heart to where my faith takes me, and I couldn't be happier. So anyway, I'm gonna finish my protein smoothie and get ready for Pilates. Hello, happy Wednesday. It's Wednesday for Pilates. I have a class. I'm taking like the 2.0 for the first time. I feel like I'm ready to challenge myself. So the class is full, but I am first on the wait list, and you typically have a pretty good chance if you're first, even second, to getting in, but the line hasn't moved. So if I don't get in, I'm gonna be very, you know, upset, because I also had to cancel my 1.5 class before this one. Happy Friday. I just left urgent care because my cough has just progressively gotten a little worse. It ended up being bacterial, so I'm at Target here to pick up my antibiotic. Tonight is also a date night, so Marco and I are gonna go get some dinner and then go watch the movies. We're gonna go watch Inside Out at the movies. I was going to record ourselves getting like popcorn and candy and our drink, but then I realized if I pull out my camera, they're gonna think I'm trying to film the movie. So that would not have been a very good idea. So I didn't get to film anything at the movie theater, but the movie was really, really good. It definitely, I mean, if you've seen the preview, a lot of new characters are introduced, so if you haven't seen Inside Out 2, then skip this part of the video. But it definitely highlights the importance of all emotion. I grew up feeling that anxiety was a terrible emotion, that I never wanted to feel it. That the first time I had a panic attack, I never wanted to feel that emotion ever again. Because it quite literally feels like you're dying when you're in like a full-blown panic attack. And the movie just really highlights that every single emotion is important, and anxiety does have a role in being a good emotion when you need it. It's a really good film and I recommend it, and I hope everybody got a good message out of that movie like I did.
Excellent, Shanako, you got it. I'll get them for you, no worries. And let's bring your great fit.
I mean, so if you're thinking of CBT as old-fashioned,
went for a classic French tip today. I wanted to do like a second line underneath the French tip, but they were too short. So it made my nails look a lot shorter. But I'm so happy with them. I have just not felt very feminine. Happy Sunday. Yeah, okay, we're doing this. I kind of wanted to film because I felt kind of cute today. Well, I had my Pilates class this morning, and then Margot dropped Bourbon off at the groomers. I think we're gonna grab some lunch. Since now I am taking an antibiotic, I want to supplement my body with a probiotic. I'm feeling something with kimchi. I do want to pick up a new book to start reading. I want like a fun rom-com. All right, we are back from dinner, bookstore, and Target. Let me show you guys what I got from the bookstore. Well, not really the bookstore, but Barnes & Noble. Before we get into the book, look what I found. I feel like I haven't seen these sold at stores anymore or for a while. For a book, I got The Best Life Book Club. It says Carissa Newcomb is ready for a new start in a new neighborhood, as far away as she can get from Seattle, where her husband cheated on her with a neighbor who was supposed to be her best friend. Her new neighbors, Alice and Margot, are dealing with their own crisis. Alice is still grieving her late husband and hasn't been able to get behind the wheel of a car since a close call after his death. Margot is floundering around getting a divorce, or after getting divorced and laid off. They could all use a distraction, and a book club seems like just the ticket. If you've seen the book club, I feel like this might be a pretty good read. Anyway, then I went to Target and I got a PJ set, and it's a little matching set, you know, for the hot summer. These little shorts, they're so cute. Got them in a medium, and the fabric is very light. These were 15 bucks. The PJ top, super cute, very light. I think this was like 20 bucks. I needed a cute little PJ set. And I got some cuticle oil. After getting my nails done, I realized that my cuticles were just starting to get a little dry. There's like little flowers in that. So I'll use this tonight. Marco went to the store to get some popcorn, and we're gonna watch a movie and then head off to bed. So I don't know why I'm hunched over like this. I can just sit down. So yeah, that pretty much concludes my little week. I hope you guys enjoyed my video because I had a lot of fun filming it, and I gotta edit my other video and hopefully get that up tomorrow. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.